All right, you guys, welcome to a bonus video for joyful movement. This is going to be a really fun one. It's a really incredible thing to be able to really, truly, deeply develop a joyful relationship with moving our bodies, right? And so let's start off by just reflecting. It's on how far you've already come with this program, right? Look back on how far you've already come, shifting your relationship to food, eating, your body, right? Pretty freaking incredible. And so now we're going to really take a lot of what we've already learned with relationship to food and really apply it to movement, to joyfully moving our bodies, right? This all comes back to, body respect and listening to our bodies. Our bodies are so intelligent. And if we can really lean into trust, our bodies will tell us exactly what they need from us, right? And so as we know, intuitive eating is all about body awareness, body acceptance. And we talked about, how we really need to be able to listen to, honor, respect our body's needs and internal signals. And so far in this program, right, we spent time, working to not listen to the external measures, right? Like diets, food rules, social media, all these other kind of external sources telling us how we should eat, what we should eat, when we should eat, all of that crap, right? And instead saying, no, they don't have the experience of being in my body. Only I have the experience of being in my body. And therefore only you know what you need to eat, how much you need to eat, and when you need to eat, right? And only you know those things. And so now, again, we're just going to apply the same ideas to movement. And so, and notice, first of all, that I'm calling it movement. I'm not calling it exercise. And hey, there's nothing wrong with the word exercise. If you can use the word exercise and that just feels good, great. Honestly, I can use the word exercise for myself, and that feels totally wonderful and great. But there was definitely time in my life when that wasn't the case. When exercise was a very loaded word, there was a lot of negative connotation, a lot of rigidity and rules associated with exercise. And so that might be the case for many of you right now. And so just kind of take inventory for yourself, but know that that's why I'm going to shift to use the word movement. Because when our culture has really created a very narrow definition of what exercise is, the word movement says, joyful movement is us moving our bodies in whatever way that means. It can be as simple as a dance party, right? Like a solo dance party in your room. Like it can be that simple. Or sure, it can be a structured, group fitness class, right? And so using the word movement just opens us up to kind of let go of some of the rules and say, oh yeah, I walked all across, campus today. I walked all around my neighborhood today. Like I walked today, and that means that I moved my body. Okay. So it allows us to kind of open up the lens of what counts as movement. Everything counts. Everything counts. So let's begin by really looking at where your relationship with movement stands right now. Or rather, what has it been in the past, and maybe up until this point, rather. And so, are you someone who never really exercises or moves their body in that way, right? Do you feel like you hate going to fitness classes? Do you feel like, oh, I don't like running. I get so out of breath that you avoid it altogether? Do you feel maybe insecure in exercise settings because of comparison tendencies and seeing people who are, quote, better at it than you? So then you're kind of like, well, why even go at all, right? Like really pause here and reflect on what has your relationship with exercise been. And feel free to pause the video at any point to stop and ask yourself these questions. Maybe you feel like you exercise too much, right? Maybe you feel like you exercise too much. Maybe your friends and family have praised you, right, as being so healthy and disciplined. But really you're kind of feeling, if you're going to be super honest with yourself, you feel a little disconnected. And you feel like you have to do these things. It's not really coming from a place of true joy and love and care, but a place of rigidity and have to and proving and controlling. That was me when I was in college, for sure. That was absolutely me. I was so praised for it. Everyone knew me as that. And it definitely got to a point where it was running my life, right? I had to make sure I got to the gym above all else. And so notice if that's you, right? So we're looking at these different ways we can be in relationship to exercise, and sometimes it can become very disordered, right? Maybe you feel like you're an all or nothing person. Maybe, you're like, okay, like new year, whatever. And then you're at the gym and then you miss one day and then it's over for a month, 2 months, whatever. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to go again. You go all out for a week or whatever, however long that time is. And then you miss a day and then you're like, screw it, right? That is a very common relationship to exercise, especially in our culture that does hound us with the all or nothing mentality, right? The whole never miss a Monday. You can miss a Monday. It's really okay. And so let's talk about like what it means, right? To have too much. And if you hear little grunts right now, that's my dog Maple, who's laying right at my feet. And when she sleeps, she snores and just moans. And so if you hear weird moans, you're like, what is moaning? That's my dog. That's just Maple. Okay, so let's talk about like what it means, right? When we talk about, okay, too much or too little exercise. This is a question that just depends on the person, right? So I can't be like, oh, that person, you're doing too much, you're doing too little. Like, no, right? It depends on you, your own body, your own unique needs, okay? And so again, intuitive eating, we come back to, you are the expert on you. Only you know how you feel in your body. Only you know what you need on a given day. Only you know your own energy levels, okay? Only you know those things. No one outside of you can say, hey, Sarah, you need to be doing X amount a day. And hey, Mary Jo, you should be doing this. It's like, only you know how you feel, right? So we need to lean into you being that expert, right? But it is really important that when we talk about exercise and movement, right, that it is a thing that we do in healthy moderation, right? Just like with intuitive eating, if we only eat kale all the time, guess what? That's not great for our bodies. If we only eat cake, again, not great for our bodies. We need a variety of food, right? To satisfy us, to fuel us, to nourish us. Well, same with movement, right? Our bodies don't want to just be sedentary, right? Then they lose mobility and strength and things like that. And we lose cardiovascular health, right? And so our bodies don't want to be sedentary, but on the other end of the spectrum, our bodies also need rest. And this comes from somebody who I over-exercised so much in college that it was actually the summer after I just graduated and was doing some crazy workouts that summer before I started graduate school, that I injured my hip. I was in physical therapy for 6 months. At the beginning, they really thought I might need surgery, that I maybe had over-exercised so much that my hip bone like expanded and was going to need surgery to shave down, at which point, you guys, that would have changed my life forever, because my mobility and movement would be drastically different. Thankfully, that didn't have to happen. We were able to work through it with physical therapy. But to this day, I cannot run. I cannot do any high impact, no jumping, nothing like that without hurting my hip. Okay, and so trust me when I say that there is such thing as too much exercise. We can do so much damage to our bodies. Contrary to what diet culture wants us to believe, our bodies are not machines. It is not harder, faster, stronger, always. No, our bodies are human. Our bodies are human and our bodies need rest. Okay, and so hear me when I say that, again, either extreme is gonna harm us. It's not better to be an over-exerciser than to be sedentary and never move, okay? And let's put a little asterisk here and just remind ourselves that how much or how little we move our bodies has no bearing on our value or worth as a human being. Let's always come back to that. Like moving our bodies is such a wonderful gift to take care of ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I love it. I find so much joy in it. I'm so grateful that I have a wonderful relationship with movement. But just because I move my body an X way, X amount of days a week does not make me a better person than someone who doesn't, right? Or someone who does more than me doesn't make them better than me, okay? And this is really important to remember because again, our society wants to say, oh, like we're so great. Like we're so awesome. We have our shit together, right? If we have this routine exercise. But we have to remember that again, having the physical ability, the money, the time, the energy, right? The resources to move our bodies is a privilege. Not everyone has access in that way. And so just like, having health is the same way, right? It's largely a privilege. It's a wonderful thing to work towards. It's a privilege. And so therefore, like we can't say like, oh, having health and having fitness makes me a better person, more valuable, more worthy than another person, right? So again, fitness is a great thing to prioritize, to love, to want to dedicate yourself to, absolutely. And remember that your worth is inherent just because you were born. Okay, so now that we've talked about that, so how much movement you need in a day, again, is going to be really based on your unique self, right? How well rested are you on a given day? How fueled do you feel? How much energy do you have? How's your body feeling, right? So really tapping into like, okay, like what are my needs today? What am I wanting today? Okay, body, how you feeling? Right? And really checking into our bodies. And the beautiful thing about intuitive eating and the skills that we've been developing, and then that you will keep developing as you continue this journey for the rest of your life, hopefully, is that you will gain deeper and deeper interoceptive awareness, which is this ability to feel the sensations of your body. Right. And so you're going to know one of those days to like push and have a really hard workout. And when are days when you need pure rest, or when are days that you're like, I want to go for a walk, or yeah, I want to go to cycle. I want to like move, but I don't want to like wreck myself. I just want to like go and just cycle and have fun, right? You're going to be able to tell where you are on those different days and then just move accordingly and feel good knowing that you're respecting your body. Okay. So again, you are the expert on you, and it's about asking yourself these questions, checking into your own body. And we always want to look at, okay, what is my motivation? What's my motivation? What is my reason? What is my intention? We want having a healthy, joyful relationship with movement. It all boils down to our motivation, our intention, our reason for doing the movement in the first place. How will this make me feel? What is the outcome I am desiring? We want to get like really, really real with ourselves. Like, am I doing this again from a place of love and care? Am I choosing I'll just use cycling. Am I choosing to hop on my bike today because I enjoy it? I want to like jam to a fun playlist and move, or because I had a stressful day and I want to like release some stress because moving my body is a great way to relieve stress. Am I doing it because I'm like, yeah, I want to take care of my physical body in this physical way? Great. Okay, cool. Or is it coming from a place of have to, control? My body isn't good enough. I need to fix her. I need to be smaller. I need to earn the food, right? Really getting real with ourselves on why are we showing up to move our bodies? It's the question of, am I doing this for my body or to my body? I'm going to repeat that. Am I doing this for my body or to my body? Really great question to ask yourself. To or for? Another question I love that gets right to the heart of our intention is, hey, would I choose to do this if it wasn't going to change the way my body physically looked? That keeps us grounded in, am I doing this from a place of abundance and love and care, or scarcity, hate, fixing, and shame? We want to work on moving our bodies always from a place of love and care and joy and abundance, and not from a place of shame. It takes time to get there. That's okay. depending on where you're at, but really asking yourself these questions before. Why am I showing up today? What is my intention here? Okay, that is really, really key. We also want to look at how moving our bodies, you guys, it is not all or nothing. All right, despite what our culture wants to say, it is not all or nothing. And so I would also love for you to get really curious. What rules have you maybe had in place around exercise? About what counts? What does it even mean to count? Ask yourself that question. So if you can create a whole list of of rules that you've had around exercise, what would those be? I'm going to give you an example here. This happened to me just like recently. So this is a new example. And again, I've been on this journey for like a decade. Okay, so I'm still learning. Like, oh, diet culture, there you are. I started walking with a friend of mine in my neighborhood, a weekly walk. And we would like cruise. I don't take Maple, my dog, because she just moseys and can't walk more than like 2 blocks. So we would just go and just walk. And we'd end up walking like a good amount. And it just felt good. It just felt really, really wonderful. It was just, I love my neighborhood, and it's just like being outside. It's springtime when this was happening. And it just felt so good. And I found myself being like, oh my God, I love walking. Like, I just love walking. And I realized I felt like I had to either have Maple, my dog, to walk, which again is not like that counts for sure, but this is different. This is more like, all right, I'm really moving. Like I'm like seeing the neighborhood. It felt more free. It felt more like I was actually moving. Like with Maple, it's like I take a few steps, then she stops and sits down. Take a few steps, she pees. Take a few steps, she snips. Like it's not like it's more standing with some like shuffling. Okay, so like it's not the same. It's just different. So I realized I always felt like I had to have Maple to walk or a friend. I realized I felt like I couldn't just go out on my own to walk. And I was like, why is this? And I realized it was because in my mind, still a decade into this work, diet culture was in there like, you should be running. If you're alone without a dog or a friend, you need to be running. Like walking isn't good enough. You should be running. People be like, why is she just walking? Right? So diet culture, I had it wasn't even conscious, you guys. I was like, I had to really ask myself, what is going on here that like, I feel like I can't just go walk alone. And I realized that's what it was. And I've been now going on walks a ton by myself. I'll plug in a podcast or some music and just go. And it has become one of my favorite things, especially in springtime in Ohio when the weather is just so beautiful and the trees and it's just a beautiful, and it's like breathing in fresh air and feeling the sun. It just is life-giving. And I don't have any rules. I could go walk around 1 block if I wanted to. Great. Or I walk a mile or sometimes 5. It's just like, what do I want? I don't put any sort of a measure on what I have to do. I just like, I want to go walk. I want to go be outside. I want to go feel the sun on my face. I just want to go move my body because I know that helps me just feel good. Walking, you guys. The other day I was asking my husband, he was going to go for a run. He's a big runner. He loves running. And I said, hey, like, how far are you going to go? Because I was going to plan dinner and wanted to know, like, when I should start cooking. So that's why I asked him. And he goes, I don't know. It depends how I feel. Yes, you guys, that's it exactly, right? Not having to put any sort of like rules, just being like, I'm just gonna feel, I'm just gonna go and see what I want to do. And that's that. Boom, right? And so asking ourselves, what does our body need today, right? What am I needing? What am I wanting? And letting go of the rules, Some days we have more energy than others, some days like we want rest or a really light, easy walk, or gentle yoga, or sometimes we want like a hard cycle class or like a boot camp or whatever. Great. And so this is where we see how intuitive eating and intuitive exercise, it goes hand in hand, right? That movement gets to be flexible. And when it becomes flexible, when it becomes an option that we get to choose to honor our physical, mental, and emotional well-being, That, my friends, is when it becomes a lifelong practice. That's when it becomes a lifelong practice. When we're rigid and we have rules, it's all or nothing. That's when, again, you have this love-hate relationship with it. It's all or nothing, and it's just tumultuous and not healthy. It becomes a lifelong practice when exercise, moving our bodies, becomes an option that we have to pick on any given day for how am I feeling today, and what do I need to take care of myself. And movement now gets to be one of those things that we choose. Amazing. Okay. No schedule, right? No rules. It's what do I need today? And so no matter where you are on the scale of like feeling like, oh, I over exercise and feel addicted and like rigid, it's unhealthy, or you feel like I never do, I'm the all or nothing person where like I'll do it for a week and then I don't do it for 2 months or whatever it is. This will help you, no matter where you are on that whole spectrum, have a wonderful relationship with movement and your body. But just know that this stuff does take time. So have compassion and be gentle with yourself. All right. So maybe you are at a point where you're struggling to start, right, adding movement into your life. And with all these conversations again around exercise, it can be intimidating to know, like, where do I start? Like how do I start? And so this is where we always, again, want to come back to a place of what is your body wanting? What sounds fun, right? What's going to be enjoyable? And this is the key. What do you enjoy? What do you enjoy? I feel like for so many of us, we feel like, oh, exercise means I have to go and insert whatever it is for you. For me, I always feel like, oh, I have to be a runner. I have to go for a run. Exercise meant run. I grew up on a lake that was about 2 miles around. And growing up, I always felt like, oh, I have to go run around the lake. That's exercise. It was very rigid and narrow. Like that's what I had to go do. I hated running. I still hate running. Now I can't run, but you know what I mean? But we all, a lot of us think, oh, I had to be a runner. And if you love running, great. My husband, he's done like 1 million marathons, loves it. Awesome. That's his thing. Cool. Nothing against running. But not all of us love running. Okay. Not all of us love it, or insert whatever, lifting weights or Pilates or yoga. Not all of us are going to love the same thing. Okay. And so the key is what feels good in your unique body. What feels good in your body? What brings you joy? For me, I love walking, yoga. I enjoy Pilates. I enjoy cycling. I enjoy some boot camps, like lifting some weights. I will always opt out of burpees every single time because I hate them and just does not feel good in my body. So I do not do burpees. And so those are the ways that I like to move. Dancing, right? Those are the ways I really enjoy moving. Rollerblading, although I'm terrible, stopping is really hard. These are ways I enjoy moving my body. Those are options that I'm like, yeah, that sounds so good today. I want to do that. Awesome. What are those for you? And you might not know yet. And so that's where, oh, good thing you're in charge, and you can go explore all different forms of movement and see, like, what did you actually enjoy, and be real with yourself. Don't force yourself to love boot camp if you don't love boot camp. Don't force yourself to love running if you don't like running. Try things on. I ran a half marathon in college just to like see and explore, can I like running? And guess what? I didn't. Everyone was like, oh, you're going to run a half marathon and be like, love it. You're going to keep doing them and doing it and be like addicted to like running half marathons. They're so fun. I got to the finish line, was like, I'm never doing that ever again in my life. But it was a good exploration. I learned I don't like running. I really tried. I didn't enjoy it. Not for me. There were some things that were enjoyed, but not for me. So what's for you? What do you enjoy, right? Movement gives us so many incredible benefits, right? It helps us relieve stress. It's a game changer for our mood. It gives us more energy. There's all these wonderful benefits of movement. It builds confidence. But the thing is, you guys, it won't do these things. It won't help us feel good if we feel like it's rigid, it has to be a certain way, and we're doing things we don't actually enjoy. Like, we're not going to reap the benefits of movement if we're moving our body in a way that we dread and hate. And you know, it's like, oh, it's a chore. Those things are not going to improve our mood, right? Or reduce stress. It adds stress. It makes us feel ugh, terrible. We're in comparison mode, right? It's all about fixing and scarcity. That doesn't make us feel good, right? And so we want to find, what do we actually enjoy? All right. What do we actually enjoy? And this is also where you want to unpack any shoulds you have around movement, right? Notice if you have any shoulds. If you are considering going for a run, is it because you really want to and your body's like, yeah, let's go for a run, I got energy, or I had a really, like, I was inside all day working on something, I just want to get outside and move and just like shake out energy. Great, like go have fun. Or is it a should based on what you ate the night before, or a should based on what you're going to eat later, or a should because you went to a party and you had to make up for it? There are a lot of shoulds we have around controlling our bodies. Oh, I need to burn calories, I need to do this, right? Notice if those are at play. When those are at play, I'm going to ask you to say, nope, I don't have to move today. I don't have to earn my food. I don't have to earn having a wonderful time at the party with my friends. Movement is a thing to take care of me, to love me, to celebrate me. It's not a thing I have to do to earn love, to earn food, to earn anything, to make up for, to fix, to control. It's a really, really key difference. Okay. It's a really key difference. So get really clear and honest with yourself on any shoulds you have around exercise, right? Any shoulds. If we can throw calories out the window, my friends, you will transform the way you feel about movement. If you can throw calories out the window, if you can throw time limits out the window, like you can go run for 5 minutes or 50. You can go do yoga for 10 minutes or an hour. You can go dance for 8 counts of song. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. Or you can dance for, whatever. Like releasing these rules, right? Releasing calories, releasing like mileage, releasing time, intensity, like release all of that shit and allow yourself to say, how do I feel today? What do I need today? And just honor that. That's when it becomes fun and joyful and connected. That is huge, right? This helps us to stop exercising from a place of shame. This helps us to stop exercising from a place of punishment. Exercising from a place of punishment and shame, that is hurting yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. It is not healthy. It's not helpful. What is moving from a place of love, of abundance, of joy, of celebration, of care, okay? And so ask yourself, right? If you were to wake up tomorrow and just do what you wanted to do, what might that be? What might that be? If you were to wake up tomorrow and just do what you wanted to do, what would that be? Now, if you're somebody who is struggling to find balance with movement, right, in your life, feel like, okay, maybe I'm doing it too much. I need to find some more balance here, right? Ask yourself, just know that, okay, sometimes it can be really hard to evaluate where you are with exercise, right? Which is why we included a quiz to help you kind of reflect on your own relationship with movement. But the main question to ask yourself is, how does your exercise routine make you feel? And be honest. You could easily answer this being like, oh, I feel so great. I feel like, if I was back in college in my days when I was over exercising, I would have just BS'd this all the way. So you can BS it, that's fine. Or you can be super honest and get really real with yourself and get super curious. How does it actually make me feel? Do I feel like do I feel rigid? Like I have to, it's control. Do I feel like it's earning me things? Like, get really curious, right? Like, what's my actual relationship with exercise? How is it making me feel? Do I feel tired and beat up all the time? Or do I feel energized and empowered and awesome? Like, get super curious what those answers are for you, right? We're told, and it's true, that exercise can really help us relieve stress and anxiety, but It can also add stress and anxiety if we feel like we have to do it and we're rigid in control and shame and fixing, right? So we can see how a really healthy thing can become a very unhealthy thing based on our mindset, and our rules and rigidity around it. And especially if we're exercising just to burn calories. That's why I'm saying, okay, you gotta stop. Like you just gotta like give yourself a break from exercise. If the only reason why you exercise is to burn calories, take a break from it. And if you're feeling like I can't even imagine separating movement from calories, I feel like it'll always be in my head, it won't. And the key here is to just keep shifting your mind away from calories. If the calories are on screen of like a thing you're doing, just shift your attention away. When your eyes go there, say, interesting, doesn't matter, shift away, look somewhere else. Keep shifting away from that. Interesting, doesn't matter. Interesting, doesn't matter. Interesting, doesn't matter. That's it. Because it's like, okay, interesting, doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter. Just doesn't matter, right? Just like allow, and the more you do that, the more you just won't care. And I can say that because I came from that place of tracking all my calories. Back in my day, I had like a Garmin watch. Apple Watches were not a thing yet, or Fitbits. It was like a Garmin watch that tracked calories. And I was obsessed. And now, I mean, I ride a Peloton and calories are on the screen every single ride. I don't even notice it. I couldn't even tell you how many calories I typically burn in a class, even though I ride like a ton because I love it. I don't even know because I just don't pay attention to it. I'm like, I just don't care. I don't care. So you can get there too. Just keep shifting your attention away from calories, right? That is so, so, so key, you guys. And on that, if you feel like you're a little bit addicted, obsessed with exercise, maybe it's time to ditch your Fitbit or Apple Watch for some time. I had a client who felt ruled by her Apple Watch, and she actually lived in Columbus, was a college student, and was like, Julie, take it. So I took it. I just kept it in my house, a little like pantry, and it changed everything for her. She was like, oh my God, I feel so free. I can just go run and just for however long I want and just stop, or I can go for a walk, or I can do whatever. She felt so free. And to this day, like I gave it back to her and she put it back on one day, just to like get curious. And she's like, no, I hate this. And she's never worn it since. She's never worn it since. So, and not to say that Apple Watches are anything are bad, but if you know that you're a little rigid with exercise, I'm going to recommend you take it off. Okay. I'm going to recommend that you actually take it off and don't use it for exercise. Notice how that makes you feel. If you feel freaked out, it's a sign that you need to do it. You don't have to, but I'm just going to recommend that. Do it when you feel ready. The thing is that exercise can become a thing that can be really pathological, you guys, just like dieting, right? It can cause more harm than good. When missing workout leads to, deep distress, right? You have to really ask yourself, like, okay, is this actually helping me? Are you prioritizing going to the gym over school or work or spending time with family or friends or other aspects of life? Because if so, okay, things have gone too far. If you feel stressed out about travel or going on vacation because you can't work out like your usual self, that was me. That's when okay, this has gone too far. This is no longer serving me. It's actually hindering me. It's actually hurting me. All right. And so again, we want to ask ourselves the same question. Am I doing this to my body or for my body? Right? Would I still choose to move this way if it wasn't going to change the way I looked? If it wasn't going to change the way my body looked? Liberating question. I move all the time and I'm like, yeah, it's probably not going to change the way my body looks, quite frankly. I just don't think it will. It's just, could it? Sure. I don't care. But that's not why I'm doing it. Liberating, you guys, liberating. Okay. And so ask yourself too, if I couldn't exercise tomorrow, how would I feel? If spin class got canceled or I, couldn't run or whatever, how would I feel? If there's a ton of stress and anxiety that comes up, okay, I got to reevaluate my relationship with exercise and maybe even take a step back for a little while. That might sound scary, but I promise you can do it and it'll be okay. All right. I promise it'll be okay. Exercise can be a form of therapy. All right. It can be a form of therapy. It can be a way that we move through emotions, but it is not therapy. Okay. Let's be super clear. It can be a therapeutic thing that we do. It is not the same as therapy. If you need therapy, right, we have to go to an actual therapist. So let's be very clear on that too. Yes, exercise can be a really great way to deal with stress and anxiety, but it's just one coping mechanism. It's just one way to help us deal with those things. It cannot be the only way. It can't be the only way. So if it is your only way of dealing with stress and anxiety and hardship, it's time to look to how can I expand my toolkit? Okay, how do I expand my toolkit? All right, I got to wrap this baby up, you guys. I got to wrap this baby up. So again, ask yourself this question, all right? If you were to wake up tomorrow and just do what you truly wanted to do, what is that? What is that? Okay, and a note to you CHAARG girls, right? If you're in this program, you're a part of CHAARG, right? So you likely have opportunities, to move weekly as a member of CHAARG, right? This is a health and fitness organization. And so take a step back and really consider these experiences. How do you feel at your small group workout? Are you connecting with CHAARG girls? Or are you dreading going? Really get curious about your experience. What about at the weekly studio spotlights? Those might look different this year, but it can still be, but it can still be intimidating to try a new workout, even if it's virtual, right? How would it feel if you approached the session from a place of love and respect for your body? All right, what if you were to erase expectations and stop trying to compare yourself and stop comparing at all? Right? What if you forgot about all the calories that you might burn and the reasons you should do this workout, and instead had one goal, to feel good? How might that change your experience, right? Joyful movement, guys, is the conscious decision to shift our mindset from self-control and punishment to pleasure and self-care, to move away from black and white thinking patterns of exercise, to move away from the all or nothing mentality, right? To instead connect with our body and say, hey, body, what do you need today? Is it rest? Is it a workout? Is it what is it? What are you needing today, right? That's key. That's key, right? It's having compassion and grace for ourselves in this process. All right. Even if you wanted to exercise a certain day, but it just couldn't happen, that's okay. Our bodies are resilient. And it's really, really, really okay. So let's put this all into practice, just like we did with the food rules. Let's break the rules we have set out about exercise. All right. Let's really, again, go through all the rules that you have. And I actually want you to go out and break those rules this week. If you have a rule of, I have to go run for 30 minutes, run for 13 minutes or some random number and see what happens, right? See what happens. Break those rules. If you feel like you have to run or walk or whatever, some amount of miles, do less, see what happens. If you feel like you have to lift X amount of weights or be at the gym lifting for X time, do less and see what happens. Or what if you woke up and didn't move and didn't go exercise in that way? See what happens. See what happens, right? Journal, get really crystal clear about your intentions and your reasons and your habits. All right. Joyful movement gets to be a thing where we, again, have this wonderful tool to take care of ourselves. All right. To feel good in our bodies. And the joyful movement means any movement, guys, whether it's a walk or dancing in your kitchen or rollerblading or boot camp or cycling. All right. It's all about how we're feeling the entire process, before, during, after. And remember, rest is a form of movement that we vitally need. We vitally need. All right. Joyful movement, guys, it's flexible, right? It's not rigid. It's something that we do for ourselves, right? Not to ourselves. It's self-care. All right. So final reflection here. Always remember that our bodies are instruments and not ornaments. Remember that how much we can do, anything, right? Literally anything we want. Our bodies are vehicles, right? To help us achieve our goals, to experience life. Our legs, can help us walk, run marathons, scale a mountain, ride a bike. Our arms can help us go rock climbing or dance and express ourselves, or paddleboard across the lake, right? Or lift a heavy box when you're moving or what have you, or carry binders or a laptop, right? Our bodies are here to allow us to do and to experience, to help our soul experience life, no matter our ability, whatever that looks like, okay? And so if we can focus on all that our bodies do for us, instead of constantly trying to change our bodies, we will be so much happier, okay? We'll be so much happier. So give this all a whirl. Give this all a whirl and see how it goes. I'll be excited to see what's happening inside our group. Bye, guys.